Hey, you all, and good morning. Carpetbagger here, coming to you live from my living room. And I'll tell you something. I've heard about this phenomenon, jet lag, and never really understood it. I've traveled around the United States. I've flown planes from East Coast to West Coast. Never really, never really affected me much. Um, but I think I get it now. Flying to Hawaii, we split it up into two parts. We flew to Reno for a few days, and then flew the rest of the way to Hawaii. Not that big of a deal. It was fine. Got going the next day. Um, Hawaii, going back to Hawaii, was a little bit of more of an ordeal. If you watch the last video, you can see that it was 22 hours, 4 flights, one after another, finally getting us home. And I got to sleep, and then I woke up the next day, and I was so tired. I spent a few hours awake and ended up going back to sleep. I think I ate, played on my phone, watched some TV, and then ended up just going back to bed because I was so exhausted. It plays with your head a little bit. Not only do it was a long day traveling, but there's a 6 hour difference from my time zone, Eastern time, to Hawaiian time. So when are you supposed to be awake? When are you supposed to be asleep? That all suddenly comes becomes a mystery. So yesterday, I woke up, same thing. I was not doing much. Did a few things, ate, watched TV, and then went to sleep. Two of the least productive days that I have had in a long time. Just recovering, I guess. Just trying to get some rest. But last night I woke up about 3:30 in the morning. Kept trying to go back to sleep. Never happened. It's about I think 9:30 right now, and I have officially given up on getting back to sleep. I decided the day has begun. Forces at work apparently want me to be awake. I am not sure if I am tired. I'm not sure if I'm ready to go. We're just gonna play it by ear because I'm gonna try to get back into some sort of normal semblance of life. I feel bad missing 2 uploads in a row, 2 days in a row. It's been a long time since I've done that. Not something I like to make a habit out of. I may take a few more days off here and there over the next week or so. Got some things going on here at home. Need to take care of. So I may be popping in and out here and there. I do have some plans. Do want to do some stuff. I want. Oh my! Here's the other thing. I wanted to spend some time in Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg. If you recall, the 40 Highway 40 was closed during the hurricane. Well, it's closed again. That's how I get over to Pigeon Forge. It's closed again because there was flooding, possibly destroyed some of the rebuilding of the road. They've got the whole road gutted, and who knows? Bad things happen. You got water, you got the road messed up. Um, Mother Nature at its worst. So it was supposed to be closed for another 2 weeks. So this was supposed to be my time at home. I was going to spend some more time over in Pigeon Forge. Still probably going to, but it's not. It's not going to have my convenient drive there. A 40 is an unreliable mistress. There's been times it's been shut down before. There's an avalanche shut it down for like a year once when I was living here. So it's unpredictable. 40 is unpredictable when it's going to be open. I still have other ways to get over there, not as fast, but other ways to get over to the Gallenberg Pigeon Forge area. So let's see where the day takes us. Got our automobiles parked out here. Jen's shiny new car here, and then old Rosebud over here. Both started just fine. I was a little nervous. Like, I don't know why, but having it sit here for 2 weeks without starting. This car's got a few breaks this year. It's the year of planes, trains, and automobiles. It had a long run. going down Highway 1, but got to rest during the trains and planes portion of the year. And for those of you in the comments section who were like, you should have planned better. Obviously it's going to be a huge ordeal if you plan things like that. And yeah, no kidding. Definitely, and I tend to do this a lot. I overestimated my own ability. When I heard about it, it's like, okay, I'll sleep on the plane overnight. Everything will be fine. We'll get up, blah, blah, blah. The thing is, I always have this thing in my mind that I'm going to sleep on the plane, and it literally never happens. I'm incapable of sleeping on the plane. I need to, let go of the idea that I am going to sleep on a plane because it's never going to happen. I think, if I could redo the planning there, I probably would have had a stop somewhere in the West Coast for a few days before we carried on. That was ridiculous. We got it was really cheap. That was one of the things that happened that kind of suckered us. Was we saw this cheap flight from, it's a cheap set of flights, but the whole package, with the layovers and everything, it was very cheap to get from Hawaii to Charlotte. I still try to make, I try to make good money decisions. I try to stay at reasonable hotels. I try to, find a balance. What's, I don't want to stay at a hotel that's unsafe or dirty or primarily used for illicit things. But, I don't want to spend a lot of money on a hotel. You're always going to spend a lot of money on a hotel in Hawaii. But try to find something that's reasonable. Try to find a flight that was reasonable. I'm like, hey, who can say no to that price? And we paid for it. We paid for taking the good price. And you know what? It's just part of the channel. Is I'm not afraid to document my mistakes. I'm not afraid to admit I could have done things better. But I take you guys along with them, with me. And if anything, you can learn from my mistakes. So the GPS actually routed me through Maggie Valley and onto the Blue Ridge Parkway, which is apparently back open. During the hurricane, not only did it knock out 40, it also knocked out the Blue Ridge Parkway, I think, in its entirety, all the way from Cherokee to Virginia. But it looks like at least this section's open. I think other parts are still undergoing reconstruction. I think they're opening it up in little pieces. Apparently it was extremely damaged by the hurricane, as were a lot of things. At some point I do want to do a Blue Ridge Parkway road trip from beginning to end, but I'll have to wait till the whole thing opens. But I guess we can ride it into the national park, because one end of the Blue Ridge Parkway is in the Great Smoky Mountain National Park. Yeah, this road situation has been absolutely crazy over the past year, but at least we're back on the Blue Ridge Parkway. That's some progress. Stopped over here at Lickstone Ridge Overlook. A little bit of a view of the mountains. A little bit overgrown here. You can't quite see the full majesty of the mountains. Here we say goodbye to the Blue Ridge Parkway and hello to the Great Smoky Mountain National Park. Got their no commercial vehicle signs up and operating. Of course, whenever 40 closes, that limits where the commercial trucks can travel. It really kind of is bad for everyone. They can't get where they need to go. People can't get the supplies that they're delivering. And unfortunately, they have to stop them from coming this way, because there's no room. They can't drive this road. It's too dangerous. Seems like a pretty busy day out here in the national park. It is Sunday. Guess a lot of people going for their Sunday drives. Now this is a pretty majestic overlook over here. Look at that. This looks really pretty in the fall. And the entire mountain is all sorts of different colors. Yeah, it is a busy day here at the Smoky Mountain National Park. Pulled over here at the visitor center. Hardly find a parking spot. It also appears that there is a considerable amount of road rage here in the parking lot. People yelling at each other, people getting frustrated, which in some ways kind of defeats the purpose of being out in beautiful nature. You come out here to the Smoky Mountains to enjoy the nature, to enjoy being one with nature, not to get angry at someone for waiting for a parking spot. But people love the Smoky Mountains. Everyone loves the Smoky Mountains. And then on especially on the weekends, everyone comes out to see the Smoky Mountains. And then everyone gets really annoyed with each other for getting in each other's way of seeing the Smoky Mountains. So I think for today, I'm trying to get a plan together. I kind of just drove over here, just right outside of Gatlinburg at the visitor center for the Smoky Mountain Park. I'm trying to figure out where am I going to go? What am I going to do today? And I thought, I hadn't been to Cade's Cove in some time, so maybe we can do Cade's Cove today. Now Cade's Cove is notable, and it's one of the largest concentration of black bears in the world, if not the largest concentration. I have been seeing a lot of bears recently. The last video I did coming over here, I filmed a bear on the side of the road. There was 2 more bears that I didn't even notice when I was filming. And then on the way back that night when I wasn't filming, I saw 3 more bears. So I passed by 6 bears. I mean, there was times living here where I would go years at a time between bear sightings. And it seems that they're just more and more frequent now. So hopefully we can go over to Cade's Cove and we can see a bear. That's always kind of your feeling. You're like, I gotta say, we used to drive over here, and I always like, oh man, if I don't see a bear, this is a whole day wasted. Because it still took me about an hour and a half to drive from my house here to the end of the parkway, basically to Gatlinburg. And so now going to be another hour, 15 minutes to drive to Cade's Cove. So once you've invested all this time in traveling over here, like, I deserve to see a bear. But we don't deserve anything in life. We take what we can get, and I would be very happy to see a bear, but I'm not going to allow not seeing a bear to get me upset. I have tempered expectations. I remember I used to get so grumpy if I didn't see a bear. I was just like, man, a whole day wasted that we spent over here, and I didn't get to see a bear. I have seen quite a few bear in Cade's Cove, and it's always fun to see a bear, but also bears are not the only thing in Cade's Cove. They have some old buildings, some old churches as well. It used to actually be a community before it became a national park. A lot of people were actually displaced by the national park coming in. There were small towns and communities that were pushed out when the national park came in. So this old community, old buildings there, and some bears. And you gotta kind of drive around in the circle. I am a little worried that it is going to be swamped over there because there's so many people out here in the park today. But I drove over here. We got to do something. So let's head into Cade's Cove. Yeah, you can see this Smoky Mountain traffic jam that has formed. These are the people trying to get out of Cade's Cove. We are heading in. Oh man, there's a lot. Look at this. Will this traffic jam ever end? Hopefully it'll dissipate a little bit when we find ourselves in that situation. And right before we head into Cade's Cove, have this bend in the river here. You always see people tubing, relaxing, engaging in water-based mountain activities. So we can climb down these rocks here, get a little closer to the water. Yeah, quite a few people down here playing in the water. See some rock stacking right here, which is really cool, but I've heard from different sources that rock stacking is not a good thing to do because I guess it can fall over and hurt animals. So I think they advise against it. I'm not 100% sure, don't quote me on that, but I read somewhere that we weren't supposed to stack rocks in the Smokies. There is a lot of life in the river. I don't know if you guys can see it, but there's a bunch of tiny little fish down below the surface. Fighting through the rocks and plantation here. See, it's a little rougher right here. Oh, it looks like people are actually sliding down the rapids. It looks fun. Be a little dangerous, but fun. The other side of the rapids here, where the water gets fairly tranquil. A lot of people hanging out here, having a beach day in the mountains. Admittedly, I still feel a little sluggish from the jet lag, but I'm trying. I feel as long as I'm moving out here in the fresh mountain air, maybe that can like jumpstart me, get me back to the grind. Okay, that got scary for a second. It looks like the guy got his bearings back. All right, finally heading into Cade's Cove. As we enter Cade's Cove here, it says expect traffic delays. Oh boy. It's okay though, seriously. You can pretty much always expect delays in Cade's Cove. You know, everyone's driving around this big loop here, you know, looking for wildlife, looking for bear. So, yeah, don't come here if you're in a hurry. Come to Cade's Cove if you're up for a slow, winding, possibly all-day drive around the loop. Here we have some domesticated animals. Some horses here. They're safely behind this fence, protecting them from the bear. Just kidding, bear don't eat horses. Uh-oh. Looks like the stream's running over the road. Isn't that, what's that called, a fjord? A fjord when the water runs over the road? A fjord? So far the traffic seems pretty light.
If someone spots an animal, though, that's when it gets really backed up. So let's go see some old structures. It says this trail will take us to some sort of cabin. Nice, delightful prance through the forest, taking us to the historic cabin. We've made it out here to the John Oliver cabin, but unfortunately, Bob was here. Bob, the primary villain of the Great Smoky Mountain National Parks. Bob says he likes the historic structures so much that he likes to write his name on them. And this is actually a crime. Says he paid a $100 fine for writing Bob on a historic building, and he could have actually spent 6 months in jail if it had gone to court. So unfortunately, Bob has wreaked havoc on the John Oliver cabin. So yeah, I warn you guys ahead of time. There may be some scrawlings on the building. Yeah, this is the John Oliver place here, not to be confused with the political late night host. I guess it's this John Oliver, not the one that gives political commentary on HBO. I guess we can take a peek inside the John Oliver cabin. But yeah, you can see, as the sign warned, you can see all these scrawlings in the side of the cabin. I don't see Bob's name specifically, but a lot of different names that hooligans have etched into the wood over the years. Hooligans like Aria. Peek inside here. The old fireplace. See, they leave the cabins pretty empty. None of the old furniture is left out here. Take a peek up to the mysterious second floor. They got it blocked off. Oh, they got blocked off, but still, hooligans have managed to etch their names even up here. And some of the old buildings over Catalucci are full of bats. I don't see any bats here, though. All right, so we have conquered the John Oliver cabin. It is time to head back to the car. Came back here to the Cade's Cove Primitive Baptist Church. This dates back to 1827. Well, the church is busy here on this Sunday afternoon. You see, they still do have pews in here. Peek out the window back here, and you can see the graveyard in the back. And up here on the pulpit, we do have some books, the Bible here. Looks like a well-worn Bible. And then an old school hymnal. Oh, this came from the Old Lyme Primitive Baptist Church in Vidalia, Georgia. We were just in Vidalia, Georgia not too long ago. It's where they grow the Vidalia onions. And I would sing you guys a song, but not a good singer, especially this type of music. This Our Heavenly Father Calls, Lord Jehovah Reigns, Beautiful Star of Bethlehem. I do like how they have the the musical notes in there. Well, once I got up on the pulpit, everybody left. We can go into the cemetery out in the back. It says, please respect the graves. So hopefully Bob hasn't been here writing on all the graves. You can see all the stones back here. It kind of tells you at one point out here in seemingly the middle of nowhere, there once was a thriving community. See the Oliver stones here. Of course, we were just at the Oliver cabin. Can't even read what's on this stone anymore. I imagine probably just from all the people touching it as they walk by here. Now you see some old graves here. That one is from 1925. But some of these look like more modern graves. So that leads me to believe that they may actually still do burials here. Maybe descendants of the families are possibly still allowed to be buried back here. I mean, that definitely there looks like a very modern style marker. If you look back at that marker there, with the lamb on it, there's two people there buried in 2009 and 2021. So yeah, they must still do burials here. This grave down here, the grave of Russell Gregory, 1864 is when he died. Been during the Civil War. It says founder of Gregory's Bald, about 1830, and then he was also murdered. It says right there, murdered by North Carolina rebels. See a lot of change left on his grave. People leaving coins on this particular grave. There's an extremely old row here in the back, all covered in moss. Really indecipherable at this point. Yeah, being here in Cade's Cove definitely brings back some memories. Just to come over here all the time. Back in the day when I was pretty broke, I like to come over to Gatlinburg, like to come over to Pigeon Forge, but didn't have a lot of money to spend on the attraction. So this was actually something that was free to do. So a lot of times it was just driving. It wasn't too far away from where I lived. Just kind of when the outer reaches of like where I could drive, in a day because of gas and things like that. So get a full tank of gas, come out here, maybe go in and try to get some food in Gatlinburg or Pigeon Forge afterwards, but mostly just enjoying Cade's Cove because it was pretty, it was free, and maybe you get to see a bear. You see traffic slowing down a bit here. Sometimes that means there might be something spotted, some animal spotted. So we'll keep our eyes peeled. Is this a bear jam? I don't know, it's hard to tell. Might just, could just be a natural backup of traffic, of course. Okay, I'm thinking that was not a bear jam. I think we got a little ahead of ourselves. It's just a little traffic. Nothing to get excited about. But now, it's time to head back to church. We got another church. I think there's more churches than houses here in Cade's Cove. You can see the two entranceways. It's actually one for men, one for women. It used to be that women sat on one side of the church, men sat on the other. Let's peek inside. See another pulpit here. Got another Bible. Oh, look at this here. This is a Bible that's been heavily annotated. Oh, this is different quotes or different people left on here. Interesting. Oh yeah. A lot of writing on the borders here. They have a piano over here. And they have the hymnals set up here so you can play along. Hark the Jubilee is sounding. I'm not very good at playing the piano. I think someone has been stealing the ivory. Maybe some ivory poachers have come here and taken some of the ivory off the piano. And once again, once I get on the pulpit, everybody leaves. And this church has a cemetery as well. See several stones here with the lambs on top. That almost always means that it is a child's grave. You can see here it says infant daughter of Mr. and Mrs. J.G. Chambers, born and died September 7th, 1916. Born and died on the same day. So make no mistake about it, there is a lot of old churches here. This is the Cade's Cove Missionary Baptist Church. This one founded in 1839. And again, I guess it is appropriate. It is Sunday. Visiting church or three. And it looks like Bob has been to this church. Look at what him and his goons have done to the pulpit here. Oh my gosh. It's completely ravaged. And it looks like we can take the back door out to the cemetery. And they have preserved the old outhouse. Unfortunately, it looks like Bob has paid a visit to this outhouse. Now, that's not a bear over there, but it is a deer. Definitely got to keep our eyes out in that field, see if something pops up. No, that's not a bear. That's a turkey. Gobble, gobble, gobble. Gobble, gobble. Oh, there's another turkey over there. Two turkeys. Stopped off over here at the Cade's Cove Visitor Center. We have a gift shop in here selling various souvenirs. A lot of bear stuff over here. We have not seen a bear yet, but I guess at least we have seen a bear puzzle. A lot of literature here, including a book all about unsolved disappearances in the Great Smoky Mountains. Guess you're in danger of disappearing while you're visiting here. We got a few different buildings back this way. Unfortunately, the villainous Bob has beat us here. You see this old mill back here. Looks like we can go inside. And the wheel's not currently turning. Look down here and see the inner workings of the mill. And there's the actual millstone. So apparently the mill is down for repairs right now. So it's been down about 11 months. They said once it gets back open, it will go back to making cornmeal. They actually make and sell the cornmeal out of this mill. A home over here. This is a nice home. Come on, James. Okay, it's like this big empty house here. That's the wood stove there. Out on the back porch. Oh, this house is like sectioned off into different rooms. Some old barns and structures out here. Yeah, you can see Bob's been back here scrawling on the barns. Little creek running back here. Let's see if we can get across on top of these rocks. Oh, that rock moves. Oh man, that rock moves too. Highly unstable rocks. There we go. Another little creek running back through here. Okay, I mentioned this earlier. And here is a sign. Thank you for not moving rocks. So Smoky Madtums, I guess that's Smoky Madtums there, live and nest under rocks. Okay, so leave no trace protects this federally endangered species. So there's a species of fish that lays eggs. So don't build dams, stack rocks, or channelize. So yeah, I guess you risk disturbing the eggs of this fish. Guess we don't want to go back here. It's full of venomous snakes. We have another cabin to explore. Some more stairs here. Oh, it looks like almost looked like there was a light on up here. I think that's just the sunlight shining through. I remember when I used to post pictures online, a website called Flickr. I remember people would post pictures of the inside of barns. Looked like this. And they would call them barn codes, like barcodes, but the inside of a barn, like inside of every barn, there's a picture like this that has its own unique stamp. So it's like its own unique barn code. Then again, that might just be the sleep deprivation talking. And another homestead here. This is Tipton Place. Oh yeah, that door's closed there. There is an open door right here. And man, they're not kidding. These poor cabins are absolutely covered in graffiti. Really kind of stinks. You know, it's one thing doing it on like a fence or a log or something, but you know, something that's this old to I don't know. I don't think you should do it. Oh, looks like someone's been playing in the soot of the fireplace. Yeah, pretty much the wallpaper here is graffiti. Let's check upstairs. See if we can see the barn code. Oh, okay. Traffic just slowed down to a crawl. That could be a good... There's a tiny dog riding on the back of that motorcycle. Could this be it? Could this be a bear jam? Is there a bear up there? Is there a dirty old bear clogging the road? Getting excited. I feel like this is building towards something. People are slowing down for a reason. There's something up there. Oh no. Oh no. It's a deer. It's a deer. All this backup was because of a deer. Oh, deer, you are not a bear. So yeah, they're at the end. I was thinking, we're going to see a bear. It's backing up. But no, it was not a bear jam. It was a much less exciting deer jam. People were looking at the deer. Deers are beautiful creatures, but you know, you want to get the bear when you come to Cade's Cove. So, trip to Cade's Cove without a sniff of a bear. Now, normally, I would be super frustrated. I'd be angry. I just spent the entire day driving around Cade's Cove and I did not see a bear. But just come back from Hawaii. I am trying to live with the spirit of aloha. We try to have extra patience. You don't get mad about stuff that isn't important or isn't meaningful. You just kind of appreciate what you have seen, and don't let what you don't have or what you haven't seen get to you. So I am happy with our day together that me and you have spent. I'm happy with our trip into the Great Smoky Mountains. I'm happy with our visiting of all the old churches and buildings in Cade's Cove. No, a bear would have made it all the more sweet, but it was sweet enough without a bear, and we can always see a bear next time. So I am hoping that I can get some sleep tonight. My internal clock is completely haywired. I cannot sleep a normal schedule. So I'm hoping, I was weighing the options of just laying in bed all day or getting out and trying to do something. I decided to try to get out and do something, come out here to to the Smoky Mountains, to the national park, and hopefully, you know, you get moving, your body gets tired, makes it easier to sleep at night. So I'm hoping once I eat dinner, once I lay down my head on my pillow, I will be tired enough to actually get a full night's sleep tonight. And hopefully not too much sleep. I've been alternating between too much sleep, not enough sleep. My body doesn't know what to do, but hopefully this will help it figure things out. So thank you so much for coming with me here in the Smoky Mountain National Park, here to Cade's Cove. If you like these videos, consider subscribing. I travel around the country. I've been to 49 of the 50 states, filming roadside attractions, amusement parks, museums, haunted houses, and other fun random stuff. If you'd like to help out the channel in other ways, consider Patreon. $3 or more, we get you a postcard once a month from me to you. Also, enamel pins, press pennies, motel key fobs, stickers in the souvenir shop. Check the Etsy shop in the description. It is back open now that we are back home. Also, I am still doing personalized messages on Cameo. If you'd like to send a message to yourself, to a friend, to a family member, you can do that below for any occasion. And, of course, all those things help keep this train on the track, this boat in the water, and this dirigible in the air. Till next time, my friends, this one's in the bag. Well, there's an elk. Still not a bear.